Welcome back to Clash of Cultures. As you guys can see today, we're going to be talking about the 2024 transfer portal, all the transfer additions, all the teams that are, building in the transfer portal who are really, losing a lot of key pieces. Obviously, I'm just here by myself today. This is kind of a spur of the moment video I wanted to put out for the Clash of Cultures community. Obviously, it's been a little while since we've been consistent. We're going to get right back into the swing of things when the bowl season kicks underway. Obviously, earlier today and yesterday, there were some smaller bowl games. But in the next week or so, the major bowl games are going to start. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys can kind of get back into the tune of things with us as we continue to grow this channel and get to that 1,000 subscriber mark where we're going to be giving away that signed Heisman jersey. But nonetheless, let's get right into it, man. So obviously, biggest name in the transfer portal thus far is Walter Nolan out of Texas A&M. And right now he's crystal ball to Ole Miss. And in my opinion, I believe Ole Miss is winning the transfer portal or the transfer window, the first transfer window, the early window. As of right now, they have four of a top 13 transfer players. They have Juice Wells out of South Carolina, who's ranked as the number 2 wide receiver in the portal, number 13th player overall by 24/7 Sports. They're also getting Tyler Barron, who's an edge rusher out of Tennessee. They're getting Princely, I'm going to butcher this name, but Uman Malin from Florida, who's going to be a good addition. So as of right now, they're getting 3 pass rushers, essentially, in the transfer portal. The 3 best pass rushers available, they're getting. And then obviously the second best player, according to 24/7 Sports, is Aiden Childs out of Oregon State. Not really sure how they, conducted that ranking, just because he wasn't even the starter of his own team. So I don't know how he's the second best player in the portal, but he's going to Michigan State. He's following, I believe Jonathan Smith is his name, the head coach, the former head coach of Oregon State, heading over to Michigan State. So looks like he wants to stay with his guy, the guy who recruited him. You have London Humphreys from Vanderbilt to Georgia. He looks like one of those Lab McConkey kind of guys. So he's probably going to be an immediate impact. He's the number 1 ranked receiver in the transfer portal this year in 2024. You have Trey Moore, who's an edge rusher out of UTSA. He's going to Texas. That should be an interesting one because he's obviously coming from a smaller school and he's going to a playoff caliber school now. So kind of excited to see where he goes there. Andrew Makuba, obviously you guys see I'm a Clemson fan. I thought he was going to go to the draft. He's the number 1 safety, I believe, in the portal, and he's going to Texas. He got a spot taken by a true freshman in Khalil Barnes. He was battling injury pretty much all year this year, so kind of interesting to see him hit the portal and not go to the NFL. He would have been probably a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I don't know how much he improves his stock going to Texas, but I know he is from Texas, so kind of going back home, playing with the best team. He is crystal balled there. It's not 100%, so he's crystal balled there. You have R.J. Oben and Riley Leonard, both out of Duke, going to Notre Dame, one of them being an edge rusher and obviously Riley Leonard being the quarterback. That should be interesting. The number 1 cornerback in the portal is Toriano Pride. He's also from Clemson. He's going back home to St. Louis. He's from St. Louis. He's going back home to Missouri to play for Mizzou after a stellar season with those Tigers. He leaves the Clemson Tigers and goes back to Missouri to play for those Tigers. Deion Burks, Purdue, wide receiver, going to Oklahoma. So I know Purdue's a Big Ten team. They're a Power 5 team, but they're also a relatively small school when you're talking about brand name and star power. So he goes to a blue blood school to kind of showcase his talent. He is the, I think, 3rd or 4th best wide receiver in the portal this year. You had another wide receiver, Matthew Golden, go to Texas. Rayleigh Brown, running back / wide receiver out of USC, going to Arizona State. Kind of a weird one. He is one of the highest recruits, going from a really good school to a worse school, which is kind of interesting. I could have seen him go to like an Oregon, a Washington would have been nice. So it's kind of weird how he's going to Arizona State because he may be the guy there, but I don't know how much that's going to really boost his stock or, make him a better player when you're on a team who's below 500 consistently. But we'll just have to see there. Brock Vandegrift, he's either the 2nd or 3rd string quarterback for Georgia. He's going to Kentucky. Obviously, Devin Leary's down at Kentucky, so he's probably going to take the job there. You have a quarterback from Texas A&M. I believe his name is Max Johnson. He's going to North Carolina, taking over the spot from Drake May. Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma to Oregon. That is a very big pickup. I think he fits perfectly. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel from Hawaii, Marcus Mariota from Hawaii. So the instant connection there with Oregon. Bo Nix going to the draft. And I think that's just a way to reload and not really rebuild. So I really like that pickup for Oregon. I think Dylan Gabriel is a top 5 quarterback in college football, especially, after this year, Caleb Williams is going to be gone. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Sam Hartman, Jordan Travis. There's a lot of quarterbacks are going to be gone. So Dillon Gabriel may be the guy. Drake May is going to be gone. I think Dillon Gabriel may be the best quarterback in all of college football next year. You have Shedeur, obviously. You have Jalen Milroe, but he's definitely in that conversation. So that's Oregon. Oregon picking him up is a really good pickup for sure. You have Kyle McCord, surprising transfer out of Ohio State, going to Nebraska, a Big Ten rival. I don't really know how to feel about this one. He either got word that they're going to get Cam Ward or another, primetime quarterback, or he just felt as though Ryan Day couldn't commit to him. So he decided to kind of hit the road and go to a school that obviously is in a bit of a rebuild with the new coach. And he kind of wants to be a part of that, I guess. So that's kind of interesting. You have Ja'Corey Brooks, wide receiver from Alabama, going to Louisville. That's a big pickup. Obviously, Louisville exceeded expectations big time. Those of you guys who have been around the channel, for the last 3 or 4 months knows that I was very high on Louisville early on in the year. I predicted them going to the ACC title game when nobody else thought they would. My dad on the channel laughed at me for that, and they ended up going. So very interesting to see him go to a team like Louisville. Let's see, who else? Will Rogers, Mississippi State quarterback, to Washington to replace Michael Penix. Another quarterback is going to be going to the draft. That one's going to be very interesting. I think there was a lot of other quarterbacks Washington could have went for. And Will Rogers is a tricky one. I know under Mike Leach, he had stellar numbers, ridiculous numbers, and then it kind of stepped back this year after getting the new offensive coordinator and new head coach. So it's going to be interesting to see how he meshes with Washington and their offense. But nonetheless, another quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke out of Miami, going to Wisconsin. Kind of weird as well. Wisconsin's a run-heavy team. Obviously, they brought over Tanner Mordecai, and that didn't really work out. They still got back to that ground game with Ches Malusi before getting hurt and Braylon Allen. So kind of interesting to see what Tyler Van Dyke is intending on doing when going to a run-heavy team. So that one's going to be interesting. DJ Uiagalelei from Oregon State entered the portal. There is still talks that he's saying that he can go to the NFL draft. He's just kind of weighing his options. I know he took a visit to Florida State. So I would personally like to see him go to Florida State. I want to play DJ as a former Clemson fan. Whoa. As a former Clemson quarterback, I'm still a Clemson fan. That sounded really bad, but I do want to see him kind of go to Florida State so we can play him. I think that would be cool. He may be able to get his revenge there. You have Grayson McCall, another quarterback transfer from Coastal Carolina, obviously a really small school, going to NC State. Brandon Armstrong was there, obviously. Then you had MJ Morris, I believe his name was, a younger quarterback who transferred out. So that's going to be interesting. And obviously Cam Ward, he hasn't announced either. Another big-time quarterback transfer that we're still kind of waiting on to see where he goes. You had Chip Trayanum, running back from Ohio State, going to Kentucky to go play alongside the quarterback that I just said went there, which was who's replacing Devin Leary? Brock Vandagriff. So that one's going to be kind of interesting as well. But there's another big loss. I know Notre Dame lost Chris Tyree and Tobias Merriweather. Tyree going back home to go play at Virginia with the Cavaliers. Tobias Merriweather going to Washington after seeing the high-powered offense and seeing Romeo Dunes and all those guys kind of ball out with Penix. But I think it's going to be very interesting, man. The transfer portal, the first window, has been pretty awesome so far. I'm not a huge fan of it just because there's a lot of money involved. Gonna be interesting though, for sure, man. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think so far of the transfer portal of these big name guys. Where do you guys think Cam Ward's gonna end up? Where do you think DJU is gonna end up? I know Trevor Etienne is in the portal, but I think he's crystal balled to Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be interesting. But like I said, please let me know. Those of you guys who stuck around this far in the video, please do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. We're really going to start getting back on the grind with uploading for this college football, bowl mania and bowl season. And then after bowl season is done, we are going to be, recapping every team that we previewed. And that's how we got the bulk of you guys here on the channel. So we look forward to that. As always, thank you guys so much for rocking with me, rocking with my dad, rocking with the Clash of Cultures community. Without you guys, we would not be here today. Obviously, we took a pretty long break. Life, unfortunately, causes that sometimes. So it's going to be pretty fun to get back into the swing of things and talk about these bowl games as we preview those. And then recapping all of these, either really good seasons or really bad seasons, people who performed and kind of were underwhelming. So we look forward to seeing you guys then. Next video we drop is going to be a bowl preview. Not sure which bowl game yet, but this video is going to be coming out on Sunday. December 17th. So I appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you guys when we drop that first bowl game preview, most likely Tuesday. So most likely the 19th. In 2 days, we're going to be starting the previews because this week is when all the real bowl games start. But I will see you guys then. My dad will be here for those. Peace out, everybody.